Hey, welcome to the Total Schmidt Show. Whether you're watching on the Lenny Schmidt Comedy Network on YouTube or you're listening on podcasts, we have a new intro, new theme song. Let's do this. Hey, tune in every week as I travel the world and I talk to entertainers from all over the world. A lot of writers, a lot of comics, a lot of dancers, a lot of singers, a lot of comics, a lot of producers, a lot of tech people, a lot of comics, a lot of pianists, piano player type people. You know what I'm talking about. Musicians and lots of comics. Every once in a while, we'll throw in a comedy sketch, something like that, some music, some travel stuff. We'll even do a live remote from one or two of the ports they happen to be hanging out at. That's it. That's the whole show. And I'm going to record it all and put it on the intraweb. Sometimes. Usually late. Always late. Maybe. I don't know. And weekly? No. Maybe. Sort of. Either way, sit back, grab a beer, light a joint, and enjoy this week's episode of Hey, welcome to the Total Schmidt Show. It's Tuesday night at 6 o'clock, and we're going to get right to it tonight. I'm going to do something different this week for this episode. Just recently, a friend of mine, a comedian out of Chicago, Rocky Laporte, posted on social media. He put a video up there and revealed that his one of his daughters, Toni, has stage 4 stomach cancer, and Rocky's going through a hard time with her and the family and the bills and stuff. So he set up a GoFundMe, and he reached out and asked for help. So I thought this week what I would do is remix an episode I did with him before, and get the information for the GoFundMe out there, both on the YouTube video. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the QR code. Bam, it'll be up there for the whole episode. And if you're listening on the podcast, links for the GoFundMe will be in the bio for the podcast. It'll all be there. So I usually try to plug the show. I go, hey, give money to my Patreon, give money to my page, give money to me. How about this week? If you want to give money, you give it to Rocky. Whatever you can do for him would help him out. Any little bit helps, obviously. I know he's working hard to try to take care of the bills, and it's got to be hard, and I can only imagine what he's going through with his family and his daughter, and my prayers and thoughts go out to him. So if you can help Rocky out, please do so. Otherwise, watch this episode with Rocky. It's from November 20th of 2020 during the lockdown. Rocky's really funny. This was one of the funnier episodes of quarantine comedy. We had a great time doing it. Enjoy the episode, and if you can, donate some money toward Rocky's GoFundMe to help his daughter, Toni. Thank you very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Folks, that's the guy right there. One and only, please welcome right here live for you people, my good friend, Rocky Laporte. Look, here he is. Yeah!
Hey, brother.
What's up, buddy? How are you? I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, Lenny. It's good to see you again, brother.
Good to see you. I put my Bears hat on because you were wearing your Bears hat, so I figured we could suffer together. We could hang.
Yeah. What a mess. They should let us play. We could try, right? I think we could score a little bit.
I think, yeah. You know what? You quarterback and I'll kick. How does that work? Is that reasonable?
Let's do
it. We should do that. We should totally do that. Hey, Donna's here, by the way. You said Donna was going to try to tune in.
Oh, is that right?
I believe Donna's here. She just typed in that she's here. So let's give Donna. Yeah, she's good. She's doing the emoji applause now. I don't know if you know the emoji applause.
Hey, Donna and Robbie, they're great supporters, man.
Yeah, they're great, man. How are you, buddy?
I'm okay, man. I'm okay. It's a weird time, and for everybody. I think everybody's a little off center there. It's just doing weird gigs. Me and actually Donna came to this gig. Me and Patty Vasquez, we did this gig about a month ago. It was out on a farm in DeKalb. It was a cornfield. I swear to God, it was 9 o'clock at night.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. And then people were sitting around like fire pits.
What kind of lights did you have? Did they 9 o'clock at night?
Yeah, they just put up some, like those pot lights, and I just go, folks, if someone would have told me 6 months ago that you'd be telling jokes in the woods at nighttime, in 36-degree weather, I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah, and, you're crazy. Sure enough, there you are. Did you get eaten up by mosquitoes?
No, I was too cold.
It was too cold, dude. That's the worst, dude. You can't win. It's either mosquitoes or it's freezing. It's one or the other there in the Midwest. How can you do outdoor comedy in a farm? That just doesn't seem.
Yeah.
Dude, that's insane. I can't believe. Well, how were were the people outside or were they in cars watching you?
No, they're outside. It wasn't one of those. But I heard some of those guys that do those driving things, like, if you're not doing good, people are,
Dude,
beeping a horn and flashing the lights. Like,
oh,
how
dude,
bad is that? You're getting
you
hecked by a car now.
You can't, you can't. That's the one point when because the comics always win when it comes to a heckler, but not when it's a car. You would lose. You know what I mean? Everybody, and if you're really doing bad, everybody's beep. Can you imagine? I didn't even think about that. 20 cars.
Like I did so bad at my last gig, I got ran over.
Dude, Schubert did one of those. And I had Schubert on the show, and he was showing me a clip from the show, and the stage was set up, and the street was in front of him. The parking lot was on the other side of the street. So as he's telling the jokes to the parking lot across the street, there's traffic that's going by. I'm going, oh my God, this is. I don't know if it's sad or funny. I don't know what to think anymore. You know what I mean? But
yeah, we did one. It was in a park, and there was a street on each side. So like we're in the middle of two streets, and you're telling a joke, and there's a motorcycle going by. It's just like. But the good thing is, I think the people that came there, they needed it. Like they wanted to come out and they needed to laugh.
Yeah. Yeah, so you got a good, like we were kind of talking a little bit before the show. If they come out to see you or if they support you, that they'll support you. I mean, they like you. They'll be there. So, I mean, if they're fighting that much to go see a comedy show, man, they're going to want to sit through a comedy show. So the good side is the audience is a positive.
Yeah, or how bad is that? Like they hate their family so much they'd rather go out. They go, I'm going to take a chance of getting COVID than sitting home with you idiots.
Screw you people. I'm taking a blanket and I'm going to go sit outside and watch some guy tell jokes from across the street.
Yeah, last year I remember doing this gig. It was 34 below zero in Iowa, and I was supposed to do this gig at this casino one night. And I called. I go, "Are you guys still doing a show?" And the guy goes, "Yep, we're doing it. You got to come." So, and they were telling people like, "Don't even be on the road. It's that cold."
Yeah,
there was 80 people at this show, and I'm like, "How much do you hate your family that you'd rather?" risk death, go out in 34 below zero than sit in a warm home with them,
Yeah, like hypothermia or whatever. You know what I mean? You're like, what happened to you? I went to a comedy show. Well, what?
Yeah. Yeah, how'd that work out?
Yeah, how'd that work out for you? Dude, I did one of those. I did a gig at Carnegie Mellon University years ago. And it was one of those college gigs. I never did many colleges. This was one of 3 that I did that paid really well because I guess it's a really good circuit if you can get into it. And I just never got into it. Yeah. But this was one that I got, and I showed up, and it was pouring, and we were outside in a tent, and I mean it was pouring bad. So I go in, I'm supposed to do an hour, and there's like 8 people there shivering, and there's it's windy, cold rain. So it's like there's doors on each side of the tent. It's ripping through like there's a typhoon. And they walk in the door, and they go, "We'll just go on up and do like 10 minutes." And I'm like, "Okay." So I go up and I did 10 minutes, and that's good enough. And they just gave me the check, and I left. It was the easiest gig I've ever had in my entire life. It was a really big fat check. They go, "Have a nice night." I'm like, "Okay, bye." And then I left, before they changed their mind and got the hell out of there. But it was freezing, wind ripping through, sideways rain coming in the side of the tent. But you're right. There were still like 8 people there, all sitting up front, and I'm like, wow, man, you really need to laugh if you're out here right now. There's got to be anything. Yeah. And there was no COVID then. There was no, that was this was years ago. This is just an outdoor tent gig.
I remember one time me and Jake Johansson, we did one. It was in, what's that town south of Vegas down there where they have that biker rally every year?
No,
it's in Nevada.
Oh, it's not Elko, is it? No, that's Elko's north.
South.
See if there's somebody that watches the show that's smarter than me. Is it Nevada?
Yeah, it's south of Vegas, and they have it every year. And they have that big biker rally there every year.
Oh, I know. Sturgis did, but that's not in Nevada. Hang on.
That's South Dakota.
Yeah, right.
How dumb are we?
I know,
Man,
too.
we're getting old, huh?
This is embarrassing. As
I can't remember places that we've been to.
I have a great story if I can remember it. You try to walk your way through it. What was it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Henderson. Is it Henderson, Nevada?
Henderson.
Thank you, Tammy Mulligan.
No,
It was one of my supporters. One of my supporters saved me. Was that it?
No, it was another place. There's casinos down there. It's right by the river. You just go south of Vegas on 95.
Okay.
Ah, man.
I don't know. I'm trying one more time.
It could be a trivia question.
Reno's not south, is it?
No, Reno's north.
Paradise?
Hold on. No.
All right. This is
Map of Vegas.
this is the worst.
Use our brains.
This is the worst podcast ever. How was the show? They spent all day looking for a town in Vegas.
At a map.
They started out with stories, and then they were Googling towns. Those guys were lame. They couldn't remember anything.
Come on, I'll get it. Okay, give me 1 minute.
All right. Well, you're with Jake Johansson.
Yeah, and we're in this tent, and it's like 100 degrees in the parking lot. And it was in the parking lot, and the tent there was a motor next to the tent inflating the tent, and it was running the whole time.
Oh, geez.
Like just making noise. And I'm like, if the power went out, like the whole structure would have caved in on our head. Like that was the only time I ever did a gig like that, where like you had a chance of a cave in, you know?
Yeah. What do they call those? That's a generator. It runs on gas. The whole thing is just.
Yeah.
Oh, is it Laughlin? Laughlin, Nevada?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. That's the Mulligans again. Okay, all right. Oh, and dude, here's the best thing. Every one of my followers is smarter than both of us. As they're literally typing in the city, going, "It's Laughlin. Tell the story. It's Laughlin. Just get to the point. It's Laughlin. You idiots."
That's it.
Yeah, they're annoyed. This is dumb.
Yeah. What other cities have you played that you can't remember?
Yeah, there's a lot. I think it's the age. I can't remember a lot of stuff.
Same thing. I don't even know if I got pants on right now.
Yeah. I gotta look to see. Yeah, I do. I'm all right. I'm good. Dude, I've done that. I've almost walked out. I've been walking around the house in my underwear since we've been locked in. A lot, or in my room, because the girls are here. They hate when I walk around in my underwear, but I wear a robe, so I got this robe. But I almost went outside the other day in underwear. I was just gonna go check the mail, bro. I was gonna walk right out the door, and I'm like checking for my wallet and keys, and not even thinking about it. And then I look down, I open the door, and I'm like, oh shit, I can't go outside. I mean, I literally just walked outside.
You know what? When this COVID first started, I did that a couple times. Like I think I didn't care. Like in the beginning, like in March and April, like when it was just like. Everybody was like, what the hell? And, there was no toilet paper. Like, I remember going out checking the mail in my underwear. It's like, who cares at this point? You know what I'm saying?
No one's going to yell at me. Seriously?
Yeah.
People are just happy we're getting out. Are you doing any, when's the last time you did a show? Are you guys are shut down again there, right? What's the deal?
Yeah. They shut down Zanies and the Improv. There's, the governor shut everything down, and you know what's so weird? I know some people, everybody's talking about our rights. We got to do this. I think we need a federal thing for this, because you're letting 50 governors decide, and each one's doing something different. Like when our governor shut down Illinois, our numbers went down.
Yeah.
But Wisconsin and Indiana, they said, no, come on in. The bars are open. Yeah. Everybody got sick again. Like all the numbers went up. They closed places. So, what good is it if you're doing it and your neighbor's not? It's like it ain't making sense.
COVID is like the fireworks of 2020. You know what I mean? Like the fireworks are illegal in Illinois, but you can go buy them in Indiana and drive over the state line. Nobody gives a shit. You know what I mean? It's like you can do whatever you want in Illinois, but if Indiana right next door to you doesn't pay attention to all the rules, you know what I mean? You drive right over the state line, but you're totally right. And the worst part is, honestly, dude, it's all political. everybody, all these governors are making decisions based on who they support, and you're like, maybe you should get together and decide what's better for everybody health wise. Do you think, you know what I mean? That should come first,
Yeah,
not who's winning
absolutely.
what contest. Well, I guess we got shut down again today. Right before I started the show, I got an email saying that we have a shutdown order going back in place tomorrow. So that's what we're going through.
I saw it on the internet last night. I think you guys have a curfew too. I think from 10 to 5.
Yeah, it starts tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's some sort of it's a voluntary man. Here's the thing: they want to stop people going out and getting drunk, because people get drunk and make mistakes. That's what's happening. Is that people, and I do it. I drive around at night, and there's people at these bars, bro, and they don't care. These bars are packed at midnight on Ventura Boulevard.
Is that right?
Yeah, so that's what they want to do. They want to cut back on people hanging out in bars and drinking heavy, because then when you're drinking, you're like, I don't know about you. I make a lot of mistakes when I'm drunk, Rocky. I make a ton. Most of my mistakes are made when I'm drunk.
I'm sober. So.
Oh yeah, too. Yeah, that's okay. Well, that's true. I
need help with alcohol.
Yeah. Well, then maybe you should lay off the booze, or maybe it'll help you. Maybe it'll help you. Maybe you drink. Maybe it'll be the opposite. Maybe you get all messed up.
At least I go out drunk.
Yeah. See, it's been my crush for 47 years. I got news for you. It's like, I was drinking. I was drunk. What did I say?
I saw that. We're doing a gig not too long ago, and it was so weird watching it. Like everybody had their mask on, and we're talking, and then this guy brings out like a bottle of bourbon, and everybody's having a shot, and then you slowly see everybody getting together.
Yeah,
and then
see,
just take the mask off
yeah.
and talking, and people are a foot away from each other.
Yeah,
it's exactly what happened that's what happens in bars,
Yeah, that's what California's trying to get rid of, man. It's trying to make sure people aren't making those mistakes. So tonight's the first night for that. Excuse me, for that curfew. I guess we'll see how it plays out. I don't know.
So you got to get drunk before 10. That's the point here.
Yeah. Well, I got to go buy some more liquor now. Yeah. Or you drink at home.
Start drinking at 5 in the afternoon now.
You drink at home. That's what you do, man. You get the liquor and come home. Yeah. That's the safest way to do it. I do everything at home now. I don't go to the bars.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So that's what we're doing, man. Are you doing any Zoom shows? Have you done an online show?
It's harder to meet chicks, huh? At the house.
It's impossible.
Hanging out at the house.
No, I can't meet any girls. And then I'm just creepy if I'm inviting them in. You know what I mean? That's just I'm like, hey, what's your name? Never mind. Come on over to my house. You want to come on over? I got a Keurig. Plus all the girls.
I haven't done Zoom shows, Lenny. Like the ones I saw, they just didn't look right to me yet, And I hope looks like you're in your bedroom talking to a wall, It's just like
well, it's because you are. Because you are. Yeah. Dude, I got news for you. I'm in my bedroom right now. That's everything. I do everything from my bedroom now. Yeah. What are you gonna do? You play. Also, when you watch early on when the Tonight shows and the late shows were doing their shows streaming wise, they didn't look good. You know what I mean? Those are
laughter.
Yeah,
that wasn't there.
Yeah, that's a huge. It's a network production. So when I watch that, I'm like, well, my Zoom show's not that bad. If you're watching Jimmy Kimmel eat it in front of a laptop.
Right. At least we're having a conversation. It's going back and forth. I think when you're by yourself, I haven't done one. The ones I've seen though, it was like, wow. Like I was like, I don't know. I wouldn't.
You know what? I did a Zoom show last night. It was a corporate show. And I've gotten a little bit used to them. They can be fun. I've learned to play off different people and do some, you're doing the best you can. But here's what really sucks about the Zoom thing, especially the corporate. It was a lawyer gig. It was a gig for lawyers at Pepperdine University. And they were really nice. But they can type in comments and then they pop up on your screen so you can see them. So I was getting heckled digitally through comments. And you can't really respond. Yeah, and it wasn't rude stuff, but it was more like, tell more lawyer jokes. I got a couple of times. And I was like...
You go, how do I get out of a third-degree felony?
And then when they do heckle, there was a couple of guys that did say something, But if there's a lot of people, there were 60 people at this Zoom thing last night, and you can only get so many people on the screen at once. You got to scroll right and left to find them all. So now I'm like, who said that? Who said that? So I'm trying to find the guy that said something. So it's just a huge pain.
You spend half the time typing.
Right? I'm not a good typer anyway, let alone under pressure. I'm like, and I'm misspelling shit, sending it. I don't care, whatever happens. So that's what I got. But they were fun. I mean, what are you gonna do, man? I think the Zoom shows are a little bit more fun when, like, I do some. I mentioned beforehand, I do some from online, and I have a Patreon page, and they'll get the Zoom show for free. And the cool thing is, I know a lot of those people, so I can make comments to them. So I know if they're your fans, you know who they are. If they're your followers, you know who they are.
Right.
So we end up making comments back and forth. So sometimes that's kind of cool. So that makes it a little bit better, as opposed to a page full of people I don't know.
Have you ever done shows on your own, like without guests, like when you first did it? Have you ever tried doing?
Starting out, I did.
A DJ, right?
Yeah. I started out, I did. Well, the shows were shorter too. I was doing some were 15, 20 minutes, some were 30. Like I saved a bunch of them. Everything on the stuff on YouTube, everything online from 60 on, I think, is still out there. So there's about 50 or 60 on. But there's a bunch where it was just me talking. And then at the beginning, I did it 5 nights a week, and I was trying to do a sketch every night and stuff. And I'm like, and I don't have a writing staff. It's me. I'm spending all day just to do this internet show. And then back then I was having tons of tech problems. So I would get all built up and ready to go. And then the screen would freeze. So half the show was me screaming the F word on my computer.
The show was bad. You couldn't blame your writers.
No, I blame all of my tech is handled by the kids at Westview Middle School in Romeoville. That's what I say. So if anything goes wrong, I blame the kids at Westview. So anytime something goes wrong, someone goes, "Oh, stupid kids at Westview." I'm like, yeah, it's the kids at Westview that screwed the whole thing up. So I blame them completely. But then I found out a lot of people were tuning in because I was screwing up. Like I had John DeCrosta on, and he was like, "Dude, they're funnier when you screw it up." He's like, "I watched a show where the whole backdrop fell on your head." I go, "Oh, I remember that show." and people would tune in to see how bad it was screwed up. So now I don't make many mistakes.
I was doing this girl, Grace Fraga. She's a friend of mine. I was doing her podcast, and earlier before we started the podcast, I ordered a pizza. So in the middle of the podcast, the pizza place calls me on my phone to make sure they had the right address.
Oh no!
I'm like, are you kidding?
Were you on the phone doing the podcast through the phone?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's the.
So
you're like, hold on a second. You just switched over in the middle of a live feed.
They heard the whole thing. They heard me talking to the pizza girl. They go, "Did you have mushrooms on your pizza? We don't know if you had the right one." I'm like, oh man.
Now, didn't you say you're going to start a podcast yourself, right?
Yes, sir. On Patreon next, I'm doing it the next Saturday, right after Thanksgiving. Because I figure, Thanksgiving, everybody's like fat and they're tired and they ain't going nowhere. Like they ate too much, so they should be at home.
You described my everyday.
But so yeah, you know what, Lenny? Like we've been doing this forever, and like where we got, I've been doing this almost 33 years, and where am I going to go to get a job? Like you're going to go apply somewhere. The guy goes, "So what's your resume?" I go, "I've been telling jokes for 33 years," and I'll be like, "All right, well, thanks for coming in.
See you later."
Yeah,
you have to send him a tape.
What are we going to do? Yeah.
Get a job at a used car salesman. You got a tape? Yeah, you got a tape. Yeah, that's the other thing. People ask me all the time. They go, because when I started doing this stuff online, they're like, "It's really great that you're doing that." And I go, "It's all I can do. I don't have, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is it. This is the talent.
I know.
This is what I bring to the table. I got news for you, man. Any other job?"
People go, "What do you got coming up?" I go, I'm mowing my lawn, and then I'm going to clean the basement. Like what's going on? I can't even. I'm trying to fire my agent. He won't even take my calls. Oh my God.
It's tough, this stupid COVID. Do you have a name for the podcast yet?
I just wanted to call it the Rocky Laporte show.
Yeah.
I was gonna originally call it, full circle, because I go, like 33 years ago, I was in my bedroom dreaming of, doing jokes and all that. 33 years later, I'm back in my bedroom doing jokes.
Dude, that's
So
great.
I don't know, maybe full circle might be a good one.
I think that's a really good one, dude. That's hilarious.
It's where
Yeah.
we're at, right, brother?
Yeah, no, dude. I told you it's like starting out again, man. It's that we got to the point where we're working on the road every week, and now you're home in your house every day, and you're just staring at the wall, going, what am I going to do now? What am I going?" Or you're trying to write. You're writing in notebooks. All the stuff I'm doing online. We're starting over again. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah.
Full circle is
I feel bad,
hilarious.
too.
That's a
Well,
really good idea. I like full circle.
what's that?
Full circle,
Oh, do you?
dude. That's
Okay.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you set it
Okay.
up that way. That makes
Yeah.
complete sense. It's very funny.
Yeah, right? Back where you started from.
Yeah.
So I'm like guys like, I was going out on the road with Ron White, and they were selling out like 2,000 seat theaters. Like, man, where are you going to get 2,000 people in a stadium again right now, or
Yeah.
a big theater, or even 30,000 people at a concert? Like, I think it's going to be a little ways away. I think things are changing, but I think they'll be okay. But, it's just what it is right now, brother.
I don't know. I guess maybe it's hard to say or predict the future, because I'll be honest with you, dude. I didn't think we'd be sitting here now at Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
thought this would be cleared up in
Yeah.
August at the latest. I go, we'll in the summer. We'll get back into gear and blah, 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 blah. But yeah, I don't know when we're going to see a theater with 2,000 people again. It's going to be a while.
I remember I was in St. Patty's Day weekend. I was in Vegas. I remember the name of the town that I was in.
Oh, you remember the Vegas
I was
one?
in-
That's good for you, buddy. You remembered Vegas? Look at you, little fighter. I like it. Okay.
I didn't have to look at my map.
Like it's a town
in
somewhere
Vegas
south of
with,
Salt Lake.
Yeah. It's north of Laughlin.
It's big as It's north of Laughlin. You know that town Laughlin where they have the biker thing? It's north of there. Big, lot of lights. Lot of lights. Lot of lights.
So I'm there with John DeCoste and Brad Garrett. We're at Brad Garrett's club, and
Right.
it's a week-long club. It's and it was St. Patty's. It was Monday through Sunday. So we get there, and every night was sold out. So we get there Monday. The gig went good. Nobody was. You heard a little bit about this Corona.
This is this March then. Then this is right at the beginning of the shit. Okay.
Yep. So we did a show Monday, then Tuesday the NBA cancels, Wednesday hockey cancels. Then it was like, man, it was just like a domino. Like every night, it just kind of swept through like a storm. It was kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, we
Crazy.
did. I'm supposed to go back to. I have Brad's booked the weekend before Christmas now, which if it happens, I don't know if it's going to happen now. But I had a date in April, and Cindy, who's the manager, who is the
Yeah, I know
GM over
Cindy.
at Brad's place. Yeah, I'm telling them. They don't know. But these people don't know.
Oh.
But she sent me an email to cancel the date in April, and this is in March, and I actually sent her an email. She gives me shit for this all the time. I sent her an email going, "Aren't you getting ahead of yourself a little bit?" I go, "Don't you think you're jumping the gun on the cancellation?" So
I was supposed to be there Halloween weekend, and they can't. Just recently, Halloween weekend, I was supposed to be there, and then they canceled me. And I think they opened the 6th. They're just doing weekends now.
Yeah.
And they rebooked me for January, I think. But, I'm not counting on nothing right now.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I know Cap was there for their opening weekend. Cap and Arrow was there. So I haven't talked to him yet to see how it went, but I know the setup, and I know it's 3 nights. And I know the whole setup. It's in the big room, and there's 25 feet from the stage. There's plexiglass. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. So I got to ask about it. But I don't know. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't. You know what I mean? I think they're going to shut down. So.
I don't get like you're watching a game, like a football game. These guys, they're breathing heavy. They're a foot away from each other in a huddle, and then there's a massive pile of guys on top of each other. Nobody's got mask on, but
Yeah.
then everywhere else you go, you need a mask. Like that don't
Yeah.
even make sense.
I was always, the restaurant thing always confused me. You know what I mean? But now the football thing is even more confusing because they're telling these guys not to wear masks on the sidelines and stuff. And I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't get that. I don't get how. So you're contagious on the sideline, but you're not when you're in a pileup of 9 guys trying to grab a fumble. I don't. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's just either someone's not telling me something, or they're not doing this right. It's one of the two.
yeah.
I don't understand the catch. You know what I mean? I guess because a bunch of teams got fined, and they got fined big, right? The Raiders and I want to say the Saints got fined like really bad for
Yeah.
not wearing
The
masks
coach,
on.
because he didn't have his mask on, but all
Yeah.
the players are on top of each other and they don't need one on. How does that?
I don't understand it
Just the
either.
coach who's going to get corona? How
Apparently,
does that work?
I guess you have to be older. I guess I don't know the rules anymore. Well, the restaurant thing has been screwing me up for months. You know what I mean? Where you can go into a restaurant, you have to wear your mask, but when you sit down, you can take it off. That's been messing with my head from day one. I go, I don't
I guess you
understand.
can't get corona if you're sitting down, I
Like,
guess.
that must be it. You're not. It's not contagious when you're. And then when
You
you're
only get it
eating,
when
you're eating and drinking. You're eating and drinking too. So you're taking things into your body. You're digesting things. You know what I mean? It's not. I don't understand
Yeah.
it. So that's okay. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't get it. Did you said that you just had the Patreon page up, right? You've got you just set up your Patreon page.
Yeah, I'm setting it up. I set it up and I already got like 13 people subscribed like in the first day.
Yeah.
And the first show is going to be next Saturday and I'm really excited. I think it's going to be fun, because it just seems like people need this, that like I think I don't know, man. I think people are tired of politics. They're tired of, you see the riots we had here in Chicago.
Yeah.
I'm not even, how downtown all the rivers are and we got all the bridges. The cops were raising the bridges at nighttime so no one could come in and wreck downtown. They used
Right.
to do that in the medieval times when they raised the bridge over
Yeah.
the moat so nobody could attack the castle. That's
Yeah.
what it's like out here. It's like,
That's the
what year is this?
Yeah. What the hell's going on? They're locking
Yeah.
down the city. Dude, you
There's
should.
alligators out there too. They don't really.
The Chicago
we gotta
Rivers.
stop these looters.
Yeah, I wouldn't believe that's probably the next step. Who knows, dude? So many things are happening. I didn't think any. So many things are happening. I didn't think would ever happen. You know what I mean? If you'd have told me
Yeah.
the whole country had been shut down, I'd be like, you're nuts. It's not happening. You know. And now, I can see alligators in the Chicago River. I think they die. That water is terrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not.
So when this started though, like Italy, they were like number 2. They were like the second oldest population in the world, but
Right.
they listen. Everybody listened and they shut down. But here, like nobody. In Michigan, they wanted to kidnap the governor. Like, what are they? What the
Dude, that
hell?
was
Did you hear
insane.
about that?
Yeah, no, I told. There's a whole group of guys that
Hey,
had this plan.
when you guys open up Denny's, we'll give you your governor back. Like, what are they going to do?
Look, we need 8 Grand Slam breakfasts right away. Otherwise, this governor.
Your governor's had it.
The governor's. I mean, don't push us. Don't push us.
Yeah, but they're all rednecks. Like, what are they gonna? Like, what do they want? Like, to go? Hey, open up the bowling alleys. We'll give you your governor back. You know what I'm
Dude,
saying? Like, where are they gonna go?
I thought it was just like some guys talking like they were going to do something, but they apparently had a whole plan. Like they had a whole thing planned out, dude, to grab her. And
Yeah.
like, dude, how messed up are you? Well, I think that's
Yeah.
good. I don't, dude. Everybody's so divided about this shutdown thing, and I get the whole. We have rights in America, and I mean, I love this country, obviously, and we have rights and stuff. But at some point, you're being a little ridiculous. You know what I mean? Where you're pushing it so far. Where I have some friends that swear by not wearing a mask ever. But I also have friends that have gotten COVID and they knocked them out, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
here's the problem with COVID is that some people get it and they're over it in a couple of days or a week and then they feel fine for a while. Some people get it and they're laid up for like 2 weeks and it's not good. And they're just
Some people
starting.
get it and they die.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Also, they're just starting to understand and get their heads wrapped around the long-term effects of COVID to the body, because apparently it's doing shit to your brain. It ages your brain 10 years. That's a couple studies I had read or something. So I mean, I don't know.
Like drinking.
Yes, well, it's like drinking. It's like drinking. So now COVID's going to be the excuse. What was wrong? I was on COVID. I had the COVID. That's why I made that mistake. I had the COVID.
Well, no, they said like they think it might scar your lungs and your heart, and that could be, a long-term thing too, So I don't know. I mean, everybody here, we're talking about our liberties and our freedoms, but you have a social responsibility too. I mean, maybe you don't care, but what are you gonna do? Kill your grandpa because you want to go out to a bar? I don't know, man.
I don't know either, because you're listening to the professionals, and the problem is, like I said, because it's so politicized, different professionals are saying different things. You know what? The whole thing hasn't been handled well from the beginning. If they'd have done like you said, if there was a federal look, 6 weeks, everybody stay home, home, shut it all down.
Yep.
Let's figure out. Let's do something. Maybe 2 months. Let's do something hardcore, and then the stimulus would have actually.
Italy,
yeah,
all the numbers went down.
Yeah,
but here, like one state's open, the other state, you could have this. One state's that. It's like it's gonna last longer.
Well, dude, in all these states that don't, like Wisconsin, South Dakota is a great example. All these states that said screw it, we're fine. Now their numbers are horrible, and they're like, oh, we're in trouble. And you want to go, well, hey, you idiot, you should, you should have done 3 months ago. You should have done something.
Wisconsin opened, I think in May they opened up their bars.
They didn't give shit.
Yeah.
They didn't
now
care.
They got 5% beds available in all the hospitals. 5%.
Yeah.
If you have a heart attack or something else, like not even COVID, you know what I mean? You're screwed,
No, I don't. Dude, I don't know. I don't know what's going to. It's hard because I try to trust the professionals. You know what I mean? Like, you and I are the last two guys that should be coming up with solutions for this. We are not exactly. You know what I mean? We're not. We don't have answers for anything. The fact that we're debating this is not.
Oh, somebody. I don't know, man. I don't know, bro.
Do you have anything on the books coming up? Are you getting out of town doing stuff on the road or anything, or you just staying home?
I'm gonna paint my neighbor's house. I got that coming up.
That's good. Good for you. Good for you, man. That's good to stay active. That's good to stay.
Everything I get, they cancel it the week before I'm supposed to go there. It's just like they're moving it. So I don't know. I had two people go, hey, you want to work New Year's Eve? And I go, yeah. One was in Chicago, one was in Cleveland. And then they called me the next day and they go, we don't think we're going to do it now. Like, we don't think we're going to be open. And it's like, all right.
Plus, dude, New Year's Eve, that is a great example of a day. That's that rookie night bullshit. I don't want to go out. I stopped doing New Year's shows years ago, by the way. I'm not a fan of that crowd. They're the worst crowd of the year. Just drunken idiots.
There's a great the first time Brad Garrett opened up for Frank Sinatra was on New Year's Eve. There's a great story about him. And Brad's kind of, he's like a Don Rickles. He's very, He really,
he's hilarious. Very attacking, yeah.
So I guess the crowd hated, they were bombed, and they're there to see Frank. And I guess they hated Brad, they didn't really like him at all. And so at the end of Brad's set, he goes, hey, you guys, you might want to stick around. Frank's coming out. Like they were there to see Brad.
Dude, that's great. What balls on him? That's the best. That's after the crowd.
Sinatra people, they didn't get the joke, and he thought he was going to get whacked. Like they go, what'd you mean by that?
Well, hey,
goes, no, it was yeah.
Hey, tall guy, come here.
Yeah,
we got some
pretty much.
Got some questions for you.
Yeah, and he said it near the end, like Sinatra was kind of like that's when he was losing his memory, and he was calling him Greg Barrett. He goes, give Greg Barrett a night.
Oh, was he? Oh, dude, that's the worst. Man, what a bummer. What a bummer. How cool would it be to open for Sinatra, first of all? You know what I mean? You're a comic. You know what I mean? That's just one of those big things. And he's like, hey, just give it up for Timmy. Give it up for Timmy. Give it up for Greg. Give it up for. You're like, oh, come on.
For that Elvis guy.
Yeah, the Elvis guy. Give it up for the kid with the hips, with the thing and the shaking, the blue suede shoes. Just give it for him. 2, 3, fly me to the moon. Oh man.
Oh my God.
That would be the worst, dude. The show doesn't go well, and then Frank's calling you the wrong name the whole time. That's a great story.
And his guys want to take you out and put you in the trunk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We just need to have conversations with you.
I read Tom Wilson's book, the guy that played Biff on Back to the Future.
Yeah.
And he had some great stories in there. And I guess one of the stories, Harry Basil.
Yeah.
He brings people, he dresses up as Batman, Superman. He's bringing all these people up on stage. So I guess there's one bit he does where he's dressed up as Superman and he brings a girl up out of the audience, right? And he goes, "You're going to be Lois Lane. I'm going to be Superman. And we're going to fly." And I heard this happen in Vegas. So he goes, lay on the stool, so she's kind of laying on a stool and he's kind of laying on top of her, like they're flying, and they turn this huge fan on out of the wings, so his cape's flying.
Right.
Well, I guess this chick had really long hair and a bunch of it went in Harry's mouth and he ended up throwing up on her back.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh.
He said, at first it was cool. Everybody's clapping, and then the whole crowd, they're like, "Oh," you know what I mean? That's a bad night.
Oh man, what hack, dude! That's not cool. That's not good at all.
No.
That's a story.
But you know what? Only us have stories like that, right? Like only comics do gigs like that,
Yeah, when weird stuff like that happens, that's the best. That's the greatest. Oh man, yeah. I
did a show. We were in Tikrit 2 weeks before they caught Saddam Hussein. We're doing a tour in Iraq, and we're in his hometown of Tikrit. And the whole time we're out in a soccer field. There was like 5,000 troops, and we're on a trailer, and the whole time you just hear gunfire, artillery, like the whole just boom, 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 the whole time. And you're up there with flak jackets, and I go, "You think it's bad here?" I go, "I was just in Detroit for 2 weeks." And like all the Michigan people booed, but everybody else
boo!
laughed,
Boo! Yeah. I'm sorry. Did I say Detroit? I meant Flint.
I meant Laughlin.
Yeah, you remember that city. It was not Detroit. It was south of Detroit. It was like Southwest. They have a biker rally there all the time. Oh,
hey,
man.
I wanted to tell you one. The year the Cubs beat the Indians, that was like in October, Well, literally about 6 weeks after that, the Cleveland Indians, their front office hired me to do their Christmas party. So the guy that introduces me, he goes, "This next guy's from Chicago."
Oh, no.
People booing me. They're booing me all the way to the stage. And it was like a 80-foot walk,
Right.
And I go, "I'm a White Sox fan, you idiots." I go, "I was rooting for you guys."
Oh, that's great. Dude, that's a perfect opening joke. Did you get him back? You got him back like that, didn't you?
Yeah, I turned them. Then they're like,
hell yeah.
I got to turn these guys around.
That's the best. He's all right. We like this guy.
Yeah. You a Cubs guy? You're a South Sider.
Yeah,
right?
I'm a Sox fan, dude. This year kind of bummed me out because I've rode out this rebuild for the last 5 or 6 years, waiting for this year, and then COVID shows up, and I didn't go. Obviously, no games this year. We couldn't go to any games, but yeah, I love the White Sox, dude. They're going to be good for a long time, man. They got some of those kids are locked up for like 4 or 5 years. That kid, Robert, is. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was just say the Bears been rebuilding since '86.
Oh, dude, the Bears are killing me.
That should be their motto: rebuilding since '86.
They're following the Bulls plan. They're on the same Bulls rebuilding plan. We have two teams that, we're going to rebuild. And you're like, oh, they just can't seem to get it right.
I used to go on WGN, like the Cubs flag station, and make fun of them, and half of them were Cubs fans, and they didn't like it. But it was just, it was just like we're just having fun,
Yeah.
I told them, I said, this was before they won the World Series, because they were losing every year, and all these idiots are showing up it was like 108 years, like how many games you going to go to,
Right.
And I said, one time I brought a radar gun to the Cubs game because I wanted to see how fast Hope leaves the field.
Oh, that's the best. Dude, that's the best. I used to do a joke in Chicago. It's kind of a stock. I think this is kind of a stock type joke that you can do in any area. But I did this joke about at least someone. I think it was. I don't know. It was a joke about being at a wedding. It was an old Catholic wedding bit. I'm like, at a Catholic wedding. I was at a Catholic wedding and everybody was crying. I looked at there were men. I was surrounded by men crying. There was men to the left of me. Everybody's crying. It was like being at a Cubs game. And I used to tell a joke all the time. And people boo, boo. And I would just stand there and laugh. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, man.
They were so bad. I remember doing a joke. I said some lady at the Cubs game, she got hit in the head with a foul ball. She got hurt really bad. So to compensate her, they give her tickets to go see the White Sox.
That's a great one.
Jesus. Oh, brother.
Well, that's the old too. They used to do the raffle. They used to do a raffle at Cubs at Wrigley Field. They do a raffle where they read off a number. Section 3, seat 4. You get to pitch the 7th inning. And they would run out and do that, something like that. There were a million. There's a million of those jokes. I love that stuff.
Yeah.
I used to love making fun of the Cubs so much, man. My Cub fan friends would get so mad at me. I would be like, dude, what do you lost for 110 years. How do you not
what do you want?
have a sense of humor?
Yeah.
You got to have a sense of humor about that,
Absolutely.
And I was happy when they won. I wasn't one of those guys that wanted them to lose. Although I got to be honest with you, I watched that World Series. This is growing up in the South Side. I wanted the Cubs to win because I remember when the Sox won in 2005. And I was like, it was the greatest feeling ever, man. I go, man, you spent your whole life growing up. You're an adult now. As a kid, you watch your team suck, and then they win a World Series. It took, for me, it was 15 years ago? So I was 40. I was about 40 or whatever. And that's great. You know what I mean? And the older people were, the more they cried. So I wanted my Cub fan friends to have that. I wanted them to feel that, that moment. So I'm watching the Cub, but I'm watching the World Series. I'm watching that 7th game, and I want to root for the Cubs, but I found myself instinctively rooting for the Indians. Like in the motion, something would happen, and I'd go, yes! Oh, no! Like I would catch myself, but I was just built in.
It was part of rain. The Indians would have won that game.
I know, dude. I know the speech and the thing in the locker room. I mean, that whole thing, man. But it's in my DNA to root against them, and I'm like, I don't want to be a jerk, but I automatically am like, yay! No, I'm sorry. I mean, good luck.
Yeah, I know. You want to know something like a few years back when Favre was playing with the Packers, I ended up meeting him and becoming friends with Brett Favre.
That's right. Yeah, I knew this. Yeah.
So I take my kids up there to meet him one day. They're having practice, and my oldest daughter now, she's a Packer fan.
Oh, that hurts.
Are you kidding me? I can't even tell. I know. That's like, why don't you just join the terrorist group, It's like you're killing me.
Don't you have an Al Qaeda cell you can hook up with instead? That would be way more acceptable. Well, you almost can't blame the kids because they grew up, the Packers. It pisses me off the Packers are still good. You know what I mean? After all these years, we've been struggling for years, and every time the Packers are still one of the best teams in the NFC, I'm like, son of a bitch. When is this going to flip?
Yeah.
Every few years something happens, they go, all right, this is it, man. This is time now it's our turn. And then, a year and a half later, I'm sitting back here going, son of a bitch. So the kids are growing up watching the Packers be good. If you were a kid, I'm surprised I was a Bear fan. I mean, I grew up in the 70s. The Bears were terrible in the 70s. They had Walter Payton. That's the only thing that we had was watching Walter Payton every Sunday. So that was cool.
Yep. I don't know. It's just
somebody's.
I told Favre, I go, I'm a Bears fan, and he goes, well, I'm a Saints fan. He goes, I grew up being a Saints fan.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you grew up in the Bayou or whatever.
So that was weird, but he's a good guy.
All right, I got to say hello to some people that are watching the show because everybody's making comments now. Donna was here, but I think she left. She said, "Good job."
That's how bad the show was. She took
No,
off. She walked
she
out.
left when you were. She went to go get a map. She's like, when you were trying to find Laughlin, she's like, "This is ridiculous. I don't have time for this." It's Laughlin. I'm leaving. Robbie Davis is a regular at Zany's in Chicago. There, you might know Robbie. So she wanted to see you.
Robbie's great.
She said maybe Joyce influenced her. I don't know what that means.
Oh, that's my sister Joyce.
Is it? Is your sister Joyce a
I
Packer
always
fan?
make fun of my sister Joyce. She could play for the Bears. She's like 6'6", like
Oh.
320.
Oh, is she?
Goon.
Wow, you don't want to piss
she's
her
huge,
off,
man.
dude. You got a sister that'll
Oh,
kick
no.
your ass.
Body slam me. No, I don't
Yeah.
mess around with her.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I don't blame it, dude. You're a big dude yourself. I want to mess with her. On my buddy, on Vince, who wants. Oh, this is hilarious. Vince Mulligan, who's one of my followers, said the Bulls just started a GoFundMe page.
Oh, that's funny.
That's very funny. I'm stealing that. Or you want to? You'll flip a coin. One of us gets that joke, buddy.
Got it. Oh, that's
Oh
funny.
man. Everybody else on here. All right, everybody else is great. Everybody doing your comments. You guys are great. Wow, we have a good following. You guys stayed with the whole show tonight, man. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. All right, man. This has been good. This was great. Where we had time was shit. We're at an hour, buddy. We're done. Let's wrap this up.
Yeah.
Dude, this went quick. Hey, what's up with the podcast? You're going to start it on Saturday. Are you all ready to record it? What are you going to do?
Yep, I'm recording it this week. It'll air I'm trying to hope every Saturday about 7:00. You know,
Okay.
and I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be on Patreon, and I'll promote it on all. I'm on Rocky Laporte on Facebook and Twitter and all that junk, and
Right.
I'll put it all in there. But yeah, I don't know, man. Times are tough. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, I don't know.
Well, you got I mean, I guess we have an advantage that we can do this stuff, but guys like you and me, we're kind of the same generation. I've been doing stand-up around 32 years, around the same amount of time. So
yeah,
it's like reinventing the wheel now. I mean, this is like I told you earlier, all this Patreon, I've been doing this eight months now. I've been doing these shows and posting stuff. It's another job to get to post it and to get people to follow and to get and get your name out there and online. And every once in a while I did a sketch show a while ago. I was so pumped about it, and I said I paid for an ad, and I got a bunch of people, and I hit all my supporters, and I go there between like 4,000 supporters. I go, I gotta get maybe even if I get 5% of that. That's maybe a couple hundred people will watch the show and tune in, and it wasn't. We only had I think but it's tough. You gotta plug and you gotta get it out there and stuff. But the smart thing, like I said, the thing that works in our favor, I think, is that when you put something out, if you have people that like you, they'll follow you. You know what I mean? So that's
what,
helps.
Mike. I even hate to call them fans, but because most of them become friends of mine over the years.
Yeah.
And I have really good loyal followers. They're just good people. Like not only have I known them for so long, like when they come to the shows now, like in Chicago and Detroit and Cleveland, like they're bringing their aunts and their grandmas.
Yeah.
They bring me cannoli. You know what I mean? Like we're like family. I look forward to seeing them, and I love a lot of these people. So and you know what's so weird? Like my whole career, I can't even tell. Like every year, I would do like 6 to 8 free shows, like benefits for anything, cancer. For firemen, policemen, whatever. I just wanted to give back, and it felt good to give back. But I got to tell you, man, it's weird being on this end of it now. Like, just it's very humbling, going, man, the rug was pulled out from us overnight. Like, just go, hey, your job is gone. Take it easy. Good luck, And
it's and you didn't see it coming. You know what I mean? It came out of nowhere. And it's like we said earlier, it's been 8 months now. You're like 8 months later, and I'm looking at UPS online. I mean, like you said, a year ago, everything has changed. I mean, everybody is going through this on different levels, but to have everything just disappear like that with no notice is just it's been a mess. It's been weird, but you're right. It's humbling being on this side because you never thought you'd be in this position.
I go to my mailbox every day to get my $4 rerun check from Evening at the Improv from '88.
Dude, good for you. I checked my SAG account today. Apparently, I got a Disney check coming in I was all excited. I saw it You should have seen me. I was dancing around the house like an idiot. It was like, it was a pretty big residual check. I don't know what it's for yet, but whatever it is, it's coming. I'm like, hey, I got a residual check. We're eating for Thanksgiving, kids. I'm so excited. Yeah.
It was bad here. The mail has been so bad in Chicago. Like they're finding mail carriers or dumping mail, and that's another thing. Like I actually did a joke about it about 6 months ago. I think our mail's a little behind here in Chicago. I just got my draft notice. When they stopped that, like 67.
Oh, damn it,
man.
Oh, dude, I gotta be honest with you. I don't think I've laughed harder at an episode. This was a blast. This was really cool, dude.
Oh, thanks.
Dude, thanks.
It's Mike. Lenny's great seeing you again.
Thanks,
your brother
Rock.
Mike is good.
Yeah, Mike's good, man. I've had him. He's supposed to come over Thursday, but we don't know, man. He's one of those guys. He's really worried about going out and going anywhere. So, yeah, he hunkers down. So he may or may not. I may or may not see him Thursday night, man. We haven't decided yet, but he's, we're trying to decide what we're going to do here. But he's good, man. He's got his own. He started the podcasting years ago, so he's got a great following on his 40-year-old boy. It's very successful. He's also got a loyal bunch of, and he does a thing on. Damn it, what's it called? Twitch now? He does I'm doing this live on YouTube. He does like a live Twitch thing where people can watch you play video games. And I guess you can do shout outs and people can sponsor you through that and you make money through that. He's mastered that stuff. So
where's that? That's down in Laughlin, ain't it?
It is just Laughlin. It's just north of Henderson. It's just north of Henderson. I think so. Yeah, that's exactly. That's their home base.
Oh my God.
Man.
No, but you know what, brother? It was good seeing you in this. It was a lot of fun and
Hey,
a lot of success.
Thanks, dude. What are you going to be on the podcast? Is it going to be just you, or do you got a co-host, or what's the plan?
Well, no, the first one I would like to do myself. Just kind of get the bugs out, make sure I do everything right, and then I'll start having guests. I'd love to have you on as a guest.
Dude, I would love to be there. Have fun with it, dude. Good luck.
But bring a map. Get a map. We need a map.
You know what?
So
I'll bring a map. I'll bring a map for you. I would use my my Google thing. At the end of this, like I said, this is live on YouTube and it'll stay up on YouTube. I also, I shared it to your Facebook page before we started. So it's streaming on your Facebook page through YouTube now. So, people can go to your Facebook page and they can see this video. And at the end of it, if you click on the video, there's a description of the video. I'll put all your links in there and all the info about your podcast and everything so that people can find it online. So, so you're all set.
So I got to go to my Facebook page and then hit, do I have to add it or what? I don't know.
No, I'm already there, dude. If you go to your Facebook page now, you'll see the thumbnail for this video. You click on it, it'll take you right to YouTube and start to play the video. So,
okay, good.
So you're all
I don't
set.
even know this technology. It hurts my head. I got a pay phone. I got a coin phone in my house. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Dude, you got a couple of quarters next to it or something, or you got a.
I'm out of change, Do
you have the old calling card? Do you remember the old calling cards when you used to have to type in the code or whatever?
Yeah.
You called a number, and then you called, and then you typed in the code.
I got to call collect. I call collect.
You have a collect call from right. I get those from prison now. That's nobody calls anyone from collect except from prison.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Man. All right, buddy. All right, guys. Rocky Laporte. Dude, thanks for being here, man. Have a good Thanksgiving, and I'll put all your stuff up this weekend, man. Take care of yourself. You're still watching? That's amazing. Nobody does that. Nobody, but you did. That means you want more. Pick one of these clips. Go for it. I dare you. Hey, also, follow one of those social media thingies.